In today's video, we will be sharing our plot progress, our visit to the milk hut,
and also we sent a question out to a few amazing channels, so stay tuned to find out what the question was and what their reply was.
I'm Kirsty.
I'm Dean.
And this is Heart's Humble Homestead. The plot still has quite a way to go, but we are making progress. Here is what we've done in April. We have had to cut the elder just slightly. We've kept the main trunk a bit, but it started overhanging right over the fruit trees. So there's still plenty left for us and the birds when they flower and the berries come out.
Say hello to my little friend.
Might see a little field mouse under there.
Maybe, did before.
Yeah.
Whee!
It's doing well, isn't it?
It's a bit like.
It's doing well.
Gonna do a taste test, guys. Take it off.
Yeah. That's the oats.
I'm not taste testing them. Mixed radish. One of the first things I've actually planted myself. I'm quite proud of how well they're doing. So normally Kirsty does a lot of the planting, and I've chipped in this time, and this is one of the first things I planted, and it's coming up nice. So I'm quite excited with that.
The fruit cage, we have 2 gooseberries. They're raspberries. Rhubarb. That's dead, I need to take that out. Strawberries. More raspberries, I think. Black currants that I was worried about, but they are starting slowly to come back.
And 1 doofberry.
Broad beans are doing really well. Going to have to take this off soon and make a frame for them. The Jerusalem artichoke is doing well, so now I can weed them. Now I can see the difference between the chickweed and the artichoke. Our chickens will enjoy this later. As you can see, it has made a massive difference. Well, these 2 Dalek compost bins are going to be going here because they're going to take a long time to break down. But we've still got 2 elder trees bushes, so plenty for us and for the birds. But the space that's opened up here is amazing. Well, this will be moved. We're going to be using some of this to add some more water storage to that shed where we're going to attach an IBC and the outbuildings over there that my dad uses. Here, got some soil to dig out first. So here I'm thinking I'm going to do brassicas, so I'm going to do another of them greenhouses and mesh it to make a brassica cage. That will go here with them in. Once these are moved, the trees can move back, and that will make this middle bed that I'm going to weed now a lot bigger for next year. Well, this autumn for the garlic or onions. Well, it's a massive growing space that we've cleared, but still left the elder. Our next job is putting that soil that we found that's lovely and broken up into these and then moving them in that spot. So I'll be back when it's done. Our eldest has moved this and filled it up. He has also discovered a concrete pad here, which works out fantastic because that's where I want to put the brassica cage. Well, what we think it is them 2 old structures there that are in there. They are the old pig sheds back from when you were allowed pigs on the allotments. It's a shame people can't have them now. That would be great for people's self-sufficiency goals. But that's what I think this is. So we think it goes right here. So the concrete pad will be perfect for about a 6x4 greenhouse frame made into our brassica cage. So that will be there, and there's still all that space here. So we're going to have a little sitting area because the sun blares down on that side of the plot on an afternoon. It gets really, really warm. So I'm going to put just a little sitting area there where that rubbish is. But I'm going to put some slightly more shade loving plants. It does get sun in the morning. I'm going to put some more things there. So I'm happy with the progress we are making. Going to be another year of battling bindweed, I think, because that path outside gets weed killed by the local council, and over the back from me must use weed killer too. So the bindweed is encouraged to try and repair the soil. If you'd like to know what causes bindweed, please check out my battling bindweed video. It's only a short one, but it's got a bit more information. But we can't let this grow. Even though it is beneficial for the soil, it's not good. So we do have to drown it. So I've just got the big tub. As you can see, it's coming in from the other side of the fence and then over there. That's our little plot. Always a work in progress, but we love it all the same.
Hi guys, back again, once again, to ask for those subs, likes, subscribes, all of the usual stuff I'm begging for as per usual. It really does help the channel and we greatly appreciate it. Oh, look, all this grey in my beard. I'm getting old.
This part of the video is the collaboration. We are still collabing with Fields and Flocks, Otterwood Cottage and Muddy Puddles Farm. But also added is Adri's Farmhouse Kitchen and Ride's House Farm.
So make sure you give them all a look, a comment, a like, subscribe. They're awesome channels.
They won't all be in we won't all be in each other's videos. We'll have a couple of each, but they will all be tagged, and every couple of weeks we will surround and go in other people's videos. So please check them out too. So our question is, what is the most valuable piece of advice that you can give someone wanting to start a small holding?
And what's the most valuable piece of advice someone has ever given you? My most valuable piece of advice that I'm going to give to you is a simple and clean one. Don't worry what anyone thinks, what anybody else says or does. Make sure you're happy, you're content, and just do it. Just do it!
Just start. Wherever you are now, start growing things. Get the chickens.
One plant pot!
Yeah. And for the advice that someone has given us, we haven't really had that great advice yet, which is why we're asking these amazing channels what their advice is.
Because they are amazing channels and they are a wealth of knowledge.
Hi, I'm Adri.
I'm Alan.
We are from Adri's Farmhouse Kitchen, and today we are answering question from Heart Humble Homestead. So today we are answering couple of your questions about smallholding, and really looking forward to working with you on this journey of ours. First of your question was what piece of advice we would give someone who just starting a smallholding.
So I would say first piece of advice would be to have good fencing. Stock fencing around the property. I'll give you an example. A chicken coop. We found that it needed to be buried at least 12 inches, and with our particular fencing we have a 45-degree overhang to stop Mr. Fox climbing up and over, to stop him digging under. Yes, it was a little bit expensive. It'll never need replacing. It's perfect.
I also will add to that that actually we don't need to lock up our animals this way. So they go in when they want, they come out when they want. Because we've got a good fencing system, we don't need to worry about the fox, the badger, cats or whatever to going in, and the birds are safe. So I always give that advice to people who ask me the same question what you two asking, that our most expensive project is the fencing, to be honest, because if you got a good fencing system, you're just gonna save yourself so much headache.
The second part of the question is, what has been the most valuable piece of advice you've been given?
So again, before we were ready to step on this journey of smallholding, about 10 years ago, we bought our first smallholding. My dad's a farmer, so obviously I was growing up on a smallholding in a similar way. Alan wasn't growing up, but we decided together to carry on this journey. I've gone off that path for a long time, doing college, university and stuff, but we found a way back. And my dad says, if you're ready, make sure you're gonna have a good fencing system. So he was asking what animals we would like. So I was like, chickens, maybe goats. So he was telling me about goats, they will jump, they'll escape artists. So my dad gave me a very good piece of advice about the fencing system, and that just stuck to my head, and we were like focusing on a good fencing system. And honestly, I think that was the best advice, what I'm thankful for now. So yeah, I hope you satisfied with our answers and really looking forward to the next one. But for now, bye friends!
Bye.
Hi Kirsty, hi Dean.
Jim and Lou from Fields and Flocks back to answer another question, and it's a good question, but it really got us thinking because we couldn't really think of any advice we were given before we moved to the small holding. Must admit, most of what we've learned has perhaps been YouTube tutorials and trial and error.
Yeah, school of YouTube, definitely.
But as experienced smallholders now, 4 years in, the best advice that I perhaps ever read, and one that we're going to then pass on to you, is the same advice, which is add one thing at a time. So if you want pigs, add them, then the next year add sheep, the next year add poultry, the next year add flowers, the next year add fruit trees. Don't bite off too much too quickly.
Yeah, I think anyone who's doing small holding, you're most likely looking at long term. So I think the key, I would always say, is not to rush into everything. Take your time. You've got the rest of your life ahead of you to just do one thing at a time, learn it well, and then before you know it, you'll have a good sort of group of things you can do. But it's the sort of thing. Small holding life can get very much overwhelming very quickly, so doing too much at once just adds even more to that. And I think if you rush things, you then end up with more jobs down the line, don't you, rather than spending a little bit more time to do them properly and slowly first off. So take time, I think, is key.
I agree with everything Lou's saying, and then I would say the one thing on top of that when it comes to animals is every animal that you come under your care, there's a steep learning curve to the care, the sickness, the common ailments, the bugs, the problems, the parasites that every animal does come with. And I think taking off too much too quickly, that can become very overwhelming. And at the end of the day, the only person who suffers, it's not really you that will suffer, but it is the animals in your care.
Yeah,
you know.
If you take on too much, you're not going to be able to care for them properly or how you want to, are you?
No, we've definitely read that advice and we've stuck to it, and it's done us well. And each time, you know, something goes wrong with the sheep, and you're like, yeah, this is why we didn't do it last year. Yeah, you know, so each time it's been just all of it at once would have been too much.
Oh, it would have been way too much. Way too
And,
much. So yeah, I think one thing at a time. Take your time. And do it well.
That's number one, Fields and Flocks advice. Boom! See you next time. Whee!
Hi Dean, hi Kirsty. It's Jo from Muddy Puddles Farm. Thank you again for another amazing question. Your question this week was, what one piece of advice would you give somebody wanting to start small holding? And what advice did you receive that proved to be invaluable? The first bit of advice I would give to anybody who wanted to be a smallholder would be to make a list of all the projects you want to start, and either start with one that really interests you the most or one that everything else depends on, and just concentrate on that one project. There are lots of reasons for this. The first reason being, if you start too many projects at once, you'll very quickly get overwhelmed. The second reason is, if you start too many projects at once, the costs of those projects are going to spiral. The third reason, and I think this is probably a very important one, if you complete one project and you do it really well, you will achieve it easily because you're concentrating and focusing on one thing, and it will give you such a tremendous boost to your morale and confidence, knowing that you actually can do what you want to do. As for a piece of advice that I've received many times over from different people, and I really took that to heart. And I think you, Kirsty and Dean, are both doing the same, which is, while you're waiting for that amazing piece of land, which I'm lucky enough to now have, use your time as a classroom. Use your time to learn as much as you can. Learn to grow vegetables in your garden on an allotment. Learn to keep chickens in the backyard or on an allotment. Volunteer at a community farm. See if there are any local farmers that would take you under the wing and you could go and help them out in return for learning husbandry for livestock. It's so much simpler to make mistakes there because the farmer has a vested interest and will pick up your mistakes very quickly and they won't turn into a catastrophe. You will learn so much and then you'll have confidence going forwards when you do get your own livestock. It's very costly to make mistakes, both emotionally and financially, to make mistakes with animals. And so it's best to learn with a safety net and not make those mistakes all on your own when you're going solo. And I can't wait to see what everybody else answers to those questions. I will see you again next time. Take care.
Now we need to go to the farm for wheat for our chickens, so that means a visit to the milk hut. The cows that supply this milk hut can often be seen as they're only in the field behind the village, and the farm is just down the road. We have been visiting this milk hut since it opened, and a few years ago we even got to visit the farm. It is also lovely to stop off at the shop next door to the milk hut for some lovely baked goods. I hope you've enjoyed this video, everybody. Thank you for watching.
And have a wonderful day.
Bye.